Hi guys, this is Editor Ben here. I just wanted to quickly say that I'm sorry for not posting in such a long time. I've dealt with a lot of personal issues lately. I've just recently had some surgery, so I had planned to make this video a long time ago. Then plans kind of got derailed with how much pain I was in, but I'm okay now. You can't keep a good gal down, do you know what I mean? So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Ow. Hey girlies, season 2 of Duel has come to a close, and as the unofficial Duel detective, I'm going to be sniffing out the treachery, lies, and deceit. Sorry guys, I've watched way too much of The Traitors lately. You guys showed me a lot of love after my Duel season 1 video, so I thought I would do it again for season 2. I will say I think the show did a much better job this year at hiding and limiting the riggery, but I still have some thoughts and feelings to share with you today. So without further ado, let's get unrigging. Oh, quick disclaimer before we start, you should never send hate to any of these artists. This video is purely for entertainment and is opinion based. These artists have worked incredibly hard on tight budgets and life constraints, so please shower them with love and appreciation in the comments below. Episode 1, we had the ball challenge, which was different to last season because last season it was towards the end of the competition. But the artists had to present 3 looks. The first category was essentially their fired up promo looks, and my favourite promo look is by far David Puck. David is the artist behind those famous murals of the Drag Race queens. And whilst David is incredibly creative, I did have some grievances with some of the judges' critiques for David. I just wish he would, for a lack of a better term, drag up his looks a bit more so that his ideas are fully realised. I feel like a lot of the time, yes, his looks are very conceptual and artistic, but a lot of the time his looks get lost from the waist below, and there's just some details that I miss that would make his drag elevated to another level. However, this promo look is iconic. The nod to last season with Hydra in the oven is so cute as well. I live. Let's get into the placements for episode 1. Nobody gets eliminated, and I like that because it allows for us to get to know the contestants a bit better, although I am glad that they changed the format this season, so we don't have 2 episodes for every 1 elimination, because the drama and contestants' confessionals did become a bit redundant last time around. And honestly, I hated waiting 2 weeks between every elimination. It was too much. So that's one thing Duel already improved from last season. The high placements this week go to Dom and David. Dom, I can definitely understand. I felt that all 3 of his looks gave us a good insight into who Dom is as an artist, and constructing a suit so flawlessly the way Dom did is not an easy task. David, on the other hand, as much as I loved his promo look, the other 2 looks had some issues for me. His battle ready look was cool. I'm not a Hunger Games fan, so the reference is sort of lost on me, but I do like the concept of blending into the scenery to camouflage in battle. All I could look at on this look though was the lumpy pads and black tights that do not go with this look whatsoever. I just wish David would consider the whole presentation, and I felt the same way about his capital fashion look, which I also think was a bit of a convoluted concept for the category. Without David's explanation, it doesn't really make sense in my opinion. As for the top 2 of the week, I think October knocked all 3 categories out of the park and was the most consistent in the whole episode for me. Vujo, on the other hand, I enjoyed her promo look and battle ready look, but the look she made for capital fashion, it was just okay. I think the fabric did a lot of the heavy lifting because it looked like a rich, expensive fabric. I always think velvet kind of gives that, but the silhouette and the simpleness of it all, it was okay, it was fine. So, how do the placements change? The low placements remain the same as they were originally. In the top 2 for me, I swapped out Vujo for somebody that was safe this episode, which I could not believe, Miss Lana V. We will touch more on it later, but Lana was so overlooked this season. Not once did she get her flowers in this competition. Derek, I'm fucking coming for you. She was eating up the whole first half of the season. Lana's promo look was great. I loved her edgy battle ready look, but the real start of the show was the look she made. It was modern yet edgy and so fashionable. I live for this look, honestly. It lives in my mind rent free. I don't know how she was. What? How was she overlooked this episode? Please explain it to me, Derek. Or Bootsy, if you're here watching this video, how was she not in the top? Please. The only other change I made was I put David Puck as safe for those black lumpy leggings and bumped Vujo down to the high placement. Episode 2, we have the Teenage Dream music video challenge. Whilst nothing will ever top the Art Pop challenge from last season, this was a pretty good episode. Dom and Dauntasia for me both cleared the challenge and the runway. I just had to mention how creative Dom is and how absolutely beautiful Dauntasia looks. The woman that you are, I love you so much, Queen. I did not disagree with the judges at all for this challenge. The only thing I changed was putting AJ as safe because her low placement just felt random and unnecessary. And we still say goodbye to Vujo here. And whilst it was shocking that Vujo was the first to go home, I think it was justified, unfortunately. Episode 3, we had the final destination acting challenge, and honestly, Drag Race needs to be taking notes from Drag Duel on how to make acting challenges enjoyable to watch. I loved the idea for this challenge, and a lot of the artists like Helena did a great job and produced something either really funny or really creative. As for the top placements, I agreed with almost everything except for Lana being in the top. This seems a bit counterproductive to what I was saying just 2 minutes ago, but trust me, Lana will go back to getting her flowers in just a minute, but her skit for me this week was a bit underwhelming. Whereas Dom really committed to this challenge, using features like animation and elements of the film noir genre. Aside from that though, I do agree with everything else the judges had decided, and unfortunately, we do say goodbye to Jesus Vice here. She seems like such a sweet queen. We didn't really get to see enough of her, but unfortunately, this is where her journey ends. Moving on to episode 4, we have the Heroes vs Villains Design Challenge. And whilst I did love this episode, I did not really like the way they judged this episode. I think the placements are fair, but the UK Season 2 style of judging who wore it best was slightly disappointing in this scenario because there was one clear team that absolutely smashed this challenge with their concept and execution, and those are David and Lana. David originally won this episode, and rightfully so, as this is the best David look of the entire series. So incredibly creative and well executed. I'm really obsessed. This is one of my favourite drag doll looks ever. This gave me everything I wanted from David's drag completely. And Lana's look is breathtakingly beautiful. Everything about this look is chef's kiss. The accessories, the colour palette, the fabric is also pleasing to the eye. The only thing I would say is maybe the wing could have been a little bit bigger, but that's just me nitpicking completely. I personally think judging this individually would have been the best scenario because I don't think any of the placements should change, honestly. The top placements would stay the same and the bottom placements would stay the same. The only difference is Lana would get that well-deserved win and it becomes a double win because David and Lana complemented each other so well this week that in my eyes there was no choice but to make it a double win. They both ate entirely. The bottom two this week is Helena and Anastasia, and unfortunately, I haven't really spoke much about Anastasia yet in this video. I don't think at all. It's kind of shady. But I loved watching Anastasia this season. The chaos she caused, she dipped and let the drama continue for the rest of the season. She was brilliant. Bring her back for another season. I would love to see what more she could do. But unfortunately, I did and ah it. I watched the lip sync a few times, and when I watched it at first, I did think that Anastasia beat Helena, but she's been in the bottom a few times, and it was a close call, so I think it was fair enough to give Helena the win. I don't think it was rigged. Episode 5 is a bit of a tricky one because in my mind, there are two different scenarios that could have played out. However, I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed this lip sync smackdown and it needs to become a staple for future seasons. Starting round 1, we have AJ versus Helena to Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani, and it was clear that AJ won this. The attitude, the look, the facial expressions, it was over. So AJ advances to the winner's bracket and Helena to the loser's bracket. Moving on to the second lip sync of round 1, Dauntasia versus Chai to Linger by the Cranberries, and I love Chai, but she was a bit one note in this lip sync, whereas Dauntasia gave us levels, emotions, feeling every part of the song in her body and movements. Her little gag with the phone and it being Anastasia at the end. Dauntasia definitely won this lip sync and made me want a ticket to a Dauntasia show. Dauntasia moves on to the winners bracket clearly and Chai to the losers bracket. Next in round 1 we have Dom versus Lana V to Disturbia by Rihanna, and bless Lana's heart. The lighting was great and she started so well with the movements, but I think she just lost me spending too much time on the bed, needed a bit more energy and a different direction. Whereas Dom Parinas, with every episode, I was just falling in love with Dom. He is so incredibly talented. Everything we see from him is literally a production, so well thought out, detail orientated, and every move has a purpose. The makeup and costume in this lip sync was also great. I just loved his interpretation of this song. Dom clearly won this lip sync and he moves on to the winners bracket, whereas Lana is moving on to the losers bracket. Finally, for round 1, we have the infamous Paralyzer lip sync from David versus October. Now, I love shocking things and campy performances, but I'm not sure if the perverse nature of Geppetto creating a boy puppet just to fuck it, if it's too far for me. I don't know. It was a bit much for me, and I don't know if it necessarily went with the song, in my opinion. I do normally gravitate to artists that just embody the song. It's hard to critique this one. I can't really say that I would choose David to win this lip sync. I would give it to October, in my opinion, but I also can't say that this is rigged, because how do you judge this lip sync, honestly? So we're going to look at both scenarios, in my opinion, if David won the lip sync and if October won the lip sync, just to see if it changes anything in regards to the results of this episode. But yeah, I just move on. Kicking off round 2, we have AJ versus Dauntasia to Uno by Little Big. This was a fun lip sync. AJ, as always, knows how to move her body and had a great performance, but Dauntasia did steal the show with the half male, half drag face. We have seen that concept a lot, but it was very well done, and she had some really fun moments in this lip sync. Dauntasia really knows how to match a song's energy, and ultimately, Dauntasia moves to the final lip sync, and AJ is safe to slay another day. Next in round 2, we have Dom versus David or October, depending on who you think won the last lip sync. Either way, Dom wins. Dom's concept, his whole persona absolutely sold the hell out of this song. And then the empowerment of drag kings is furthered when he shows all of the kings' names on the wall behind him. It was truly a great love letter to drag kings, and he clearly moves on to the final lip sync. And either David or October is safe to slay another day. We will have to see what would happen in the instance of either of them being in the losers bracket. Talking of the devil, for the first lip sync of the losers bracket in round 2, we have October or David versus Lana to Excess by Rina Sawayama. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I probably fucking did. Now, we know that if it's October versus Lana, then October wins down. She ate this up. If it's Lana versus David, then I'm not so sure, because I have no idea what David would do for this lip sync, clearly, because I never have any idea what David's going to do, which I do appreciate about him as an artist. And I don't think this is Lana's best lip sync, but I am going to give it to Lana. Once again, we will relook at both scenarios in round 3 to determine how David would fare in the final losers lip sync. Either way, October at this point is safe, and her meltdown was kind of everything, but honestly, she is an incredible performer, and what we didn't mention earlier is that Black Cat lip sync. Legendary. Honest to God, I have rewatched that lip sync way too many times. The last lip sync in round 2 is Chai versus Helena to Misery Business by Paramore, and there are no ifs, ands or buts about it. This was Chai's song, baby. Chai demolished this performance from start to finish. I was living. I will say I loved Helena's headpiece wig, but I have no idea what it had to do with the song. Work. Chai wins this lip sync and is safe from elimination, so that means that Helena is going to the last losers lip sync. Finally, to end the lip sync smackdown, we have the top 2 of Dauntasia and Dom lip syncing to Disco Tits, First of all, iconic song choice. Secondly, after that performance, if his name is Dom, then my name is Sub. Because, wow, what a hot performance. Dom secures the win for this episode, and Dauntasia is safe to slay another day. She had a fantastic episode, though. Great job. Finally, we have the bottom two lip sync of Helena versus either Lana or David, and either way, I do think Helena goes home here. Despite not knowing what David was going to do for this lip sync, I do think that he would have beaten Helena, because I just don't think this was Helena's moment. But I did enjoy watching her on the season, and she will be missed going into episode 6, because a lot of comedy challenges are coming up, and I know Miss Helena would have done a great job. Now, episode 6 is kind of crazy because originally it was a non-elimination episode, and whilst I don't think it was purely their intention, it does save David from going home. He was the only person to originally place low, but I think they could have easily found a bottom 2 for this challenge, as I think Chai's video was a bit stiff and didn't really garner a lot of laughs from me. If I was to rejudge this episode, I would put the both of them in the bottom 2. Dauntasia finally gets her well-deserved win, as she should. I was so happy to see Dauntasia get her flowers because I love this queen so much. She works so hard despite being filled with self-doubt, and she doesn't realise how funny she is. She understood the assignment better than anybody else, and that interview she conducted took me out. And the protect guns shoot queens, I mean, this bitch better work. I kept Dom and Lana in the top, but I swapped out AJ as I thought her video was a little bit too literal and not as funny as October in my opinion. October had some great one-liners and had full commitment to her character. I don't think AJ being in the top was rigged, more so just a matter of personal taste for me. Ultimately, Chai and David lip-sync to Rush by Troye Sivan, and I think Chai stays here, so we do say goodbye to Mr. Puck one episode earlier than in the original season, but I really did grow to love and appreciate David's style of drag, him as a person, so it was sad to say goodbye to David. Episode 7 was the Fat Chat Challenge, and if there's one thing the artists on Drag Duel know how to do, it's impersonate a celebrity. I love these challenges. I thought Bootsy was great as a host. Even the worst of the week, in my opinion, Dom had some great moments and he nailed the actual impersonation aspect of the challenge. I actually thought this episode should have been the non-elimination episode originally, but since David isn't here, we can keep that as such, but Lana and Dom will still lip sync and we just keep them both after the fact. October won this challenge originally and deservedly so, but I also think that Chai equally deserved the win. I know I love a double win on this channel, but it is deserved. This was Chai's best week in the competition by far. Her geometric look was such a cute interpretation of the theme, and her Trisha Paytas had me howling. Honestly, watching her, I was in stitches. It was so funny. Originally, Dauntasia was low and AJ was high, but I ended up swapping the two around. I know Dauntasia went over time and there was a whole controversy, but had she not gone over time, I thought she could have won, honestly. She had so many pre-planned bits that worked and every single joke landed. Her characterization of Terry Jo was on point, whereas I thought AJ had some funny moments, but overall the character portrayal felt a bit awkward at times, and I could see AJ thinking the wheels were turning. However, nobody goes home, so it is a happy day to be a Drag Duel contestant, and we move on to episode 8. Episode 8 is another iconic challenge. It is the mix challenge. I love this one because it is the bread and butter of these artists, and each of them should be able to create a mix, which they honestly all did a fabulous job. Even the artists in the bottom did a really, really good job this week. Originally, the bottom two was Lana and Dauntasia. Whilst I unfortunately agree with Lana, I do not agree that Dauntasia was in the bottom. Whilst I do think she self-sabotaged a little bit this week and she wasn't as engaged as she could have been, the actual mix itself was so well thought out and put together. It had some really funny moments, and Dauntasia still always delivers a good performance. I just wish she connected a bit more to it. Whereas Chai did a Gaga mix, which as a drag queen quintessential to have a Gaga mix at this point. And sadly, Chai's performance left so much to be desired. I think if she went more in her wheelhouse, like the Misery lip sync, then she would have fared much better this challenge. So I did put Chai in the bottom two over Dauntasia, but I kept Dauntasia as low. The only other change I made was I gave the win to October. This might be controversial, but for me, a great mix should have a storyline. The spoken word part should make sense with the music selected. And whilst I love AJ, Miss Slay J Knox, love her to death, and she performed the house down like always, there was a disconnect from the spoken word to the track, and comparatively, October's fully made sense. It was so well put together and performed amazingly. I do love a tea leaf queen because I am also one, so that mix was everything. I don't think AJ winning was riggery, but I have completely become obsessed with October's mix, and it is objectively the best mix made out of all of them, so I have to give Miss Third her flowers. Chai and Lana will lip sync to is Oh So Quiet, and this time I don't think it will need a redo. Chai will one and done it, and she will send Lana home. As much as I love Lana, and she really did get overlooked this season, this was her time to go, unfortunately. Episode 9 is the alumni roast, and for once this season, I don't actually have a lot to say. AJ clears this episode, absolutely devours the roast. Chai and October lip sync, and this October lip sync is my favourite of the season. So iconic, yeah, every time she moved I thought she was about to fall off that bloody roof. I was clutching my pearls. But sadly, Chai loses the lip sync and nothing changes from the original episode. We say goodbye to Chai as we move into the last competitive episode before the finale. Episode 10 is the Met Gala Design Challenge, which I absolutely love this idea for a design challenge. So innovative. I think Dom and AJ clearly did the best this episode. I absolutely loved both of their looks. Dauntasia also did a really good job, and she has come on leaps and bounds from that first look that she made. This Kool-Aid inspired gown is so cool. Is it perfect? No. But the effort is abundantly clear. The overall look and effect is really cool and creative. I really enjoyed this look. I honestly don't know how the judges had the heart to eliminate anybody this episode, honestly. This top 4 is the top 4 I saw happening from the early stages of the competition. Each one of them every week has maintained such a high standard of drag and performance that I think every one of them deserved a spot in that finale. AJ, Dom, October and Dauntasia are some of the best drag artists we have seen in a drag competition, period. They really devoured every single challenge in their own way, regardless of how they placed. Each one of them did such an amazing job at this competition. I'm so proud of all of them. So for the first time in Drag Duel history, all of the warriors will and should have been moving on to the finale. Nobody goes home this episode, and instead we have a top 2 lip sync to Chappell Roan, Good Luck Babe, which AJ would definitely slaughter this song. This song is so AJ Knox coded, and I know that she would eat this lip sync up. So AJ wins episode 10, and we go into a finale with a top 4. Yes! So, all of our warriors compete in the Drag Duel pageant. This is honestly the best episode of Drag Duel yet. Both seasons, this finale felt higher stakes from season 1 and equally more personable for each contestant. I feel like all of the warriors did such an amazing job at showing us who they are at the most cuntiest level. However, we do have one warrior here that did not originally compete in the finale. It is hard to say how Dauntasia would have done because I have no idea what she had planned for the finale. But I know somebody that does. Everybody, please put your virtual hands together and welcome Miss Dauntasia Da Robbed Da Baddie to my channel.
Hello, it's your girl Dauntasia the Baddie. Hi, Ben's channel. Thank you for having me, Ben. It's such an honor to be here. Girl, what I would have done for the finale if I would have made it, for my performance and my runway. For my performance, I really wanted to show something that I didn't get to show, which is my musical theater background, because the girls don't know and everything. She can carry a tune, she can sing that part and everything. And I wanted to collaborate with a good sister of mine, Stevie Doll. she makes music and everything. I wanted to do a custom track where I got to show off my gorgeous voice and everything. And there's actually music and lyrics and everything I wrote down over the years and everything, and to finally get that put into a song, like be like really emotional and everything would have been everything would have been an honor. But bitch, I also have that baddie flair, so I would have did it into a probably a rap breakdown mix type thing to really show a lot of range and just really give my all for everything. So I would have did a custom track, probably would have put it on Spotify and everything, blow it up, it would have been everything. And for the finale runway, I was gonna go film at this local skate park here in my town with all these beautiful graffiti art and everything, and I was gonna have this custom blue jean denim wash kind of tour gown with stoned with golds and everything on it. I would have had spray paint graffiti art on it, baddie everywhere, Dauntasia, that girl, and bitch blinged out. I would have been bougie, black excellence. The hair would have been coiffed and braided and like everything. It would have just been very much like my drag and my aesthetic and what I want to push to the max. Bitch, that's what I would have done for the finale. Thank you for having me.
I think I speak for everyone when I say I want that track regardless. Thank you so much, Dauntasia, for taking the time to give me and my viewers that insight. I love you so much and you are such an inspiration and icon to me. Keep being that bitch. It's up to you guys ultimately who you would crown after hearing what Dauntasia had to say. Honestly, all 4 of them would have been worthy winners in my eyes, but I will keep this track record on screen now. So if you wanted to, you can compare it to what the track record was originally like. I think originally AJ had the best track record with Dom in second place, but with my unrigging, Dom has the best track record and Dauntasia is in second place. In conclusion, what a fucking season. It has left me so excited for season 3 and Dom Perignon is an excellent and well-worthy winner. Dom is drag excellence and is fantastic representation for drag kings. So that is it, guys. That is season 2 of Drag Duel Unrigged. And now we just have to wait for season 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, please, please like this video because it really, really helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you're interested in what I have to say, girl. I say some crazy shit, but I'm right sometimes. It really would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and join me on my journey. I am coming back to YouTube. I am going to smash the content and there is going to be a lot of new content on this channel. I'm going to try some different things, definitely some longer videos. So keep your eyes peeled and watch this space. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Follow me on my social medias, links will be in description, as well as Dauntasia's links if you want to check her out, which you should. If you're not following her already, you are crazy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.